940 million people. That turns out to be something like 13% of the human population in the world. Stop and think about that. We're in the 21st century. This is the end of 2021. 940 million people in the world do not have access to power. Wait a minute. Is there a difference between don't have electricity, turn on a switch, and don't have access to power? Just this last year, this year, February, in Texas, we had a power outage. It lasted a week in February. People died because they didn't have electricity. Who dies because you don't have electricity? And what, this summer up in Canada, BC, British Columbia, up in the Northwest, it got to like 100 and, what is it, 112? It was like 112? Oh, I used to live up in Seattle area and Spokane and different parts of Washington. It never got above 84 degrees. Once in a while, I think one year when I first moved there, it got to like 90, 91. Nobody has air conditioning up there because it never gets hot enough for. Randy, what are you trying to say? Do you understand? We take for granted electricity. Think about this. Every time we walk into our house, let's say we've been shopping or something, come in, open the door, turn on the light switch. We expect the lights to turn on. Once in a while, the light goes out. Then we get our friend, neighbor to screw on a light bulb. Unless you're equestrian, it usually takes about 5 equestrians to tell one person how to do that. That's a little stupid, corny joke, right? Just we don't think about how many people in Africa, how many people in Asia that live without toilets. They either squat in the bush or they have a bucket. They fill up. Remember, just what, 100 years ago, we used to go. Cowboys used to go to hotels and go up into upstairs, the second story, and remember they had the pee bucket. I'm gonna go empty. Can you go empty my pee bucket? You know, they had a special name for it. I can't think of it. But just 100 years ago, we were using candlelight. We're in the 21st century. We take for granted the power. Hey, it just baffled me. It went crazy. I just thought I'd go for a little rant there. So, what am I doing? Hey, welcome. Sorry about that. Welcome to another episode of Contain This. Thank you for following my journey. This one's about electricity, obviously, if I'm talking about electricity, right? So, I just spent the last 2 days running wire. I'm thankful that wire has come down in price. I think a 250-foot roll was running about, $200, $250. Now it's under $150 a roll. Was that like 80, 90 cents a foot? So I bought a roll of 250. That's plenty for a 40-foot container, right? No. I probably got 400 feet of wire running in here. I actually bought 2 types of wire. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on technical. You know, this is just a journey. I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm just kind of, I'm not a contractor. I'm just a guy that rides horses and decided to build a house. You know, if I can do it, you can do it kind of thing, a DIY in the middle of the pandemic. So I'll tell you something I did learn. I haven't played much with electricity and power and running wire, but I learned something today, this last couple of days. I've got 3 rooms, utility room, bathroom, and then the main room here. This is the guest room. So when I walk in to this room, I turn on the light switch. I head over to the bathroom. I turn this switch, this room lights off, and then I turn those on. So, and then you go, if I decide to do a load of laundry, I turn off the bathroom lights on the other end. And then, so as I travel through the container, I'm turning on and off lights. And that requires what we call a 3-way switch. Most of the time we just have a 2-way switch, and 2-way switch just has the two screws here, but the 3-way screw, this is not a 3-way. I ran out, they're all put in, you know, I can't show you some, I didn't buy extra. I barely had enough money to buy a second roll of the 250 foot. But anyway, they have a third pole here. And basically I bought 2 types of wire. I bought 12-2 and 12-3. I bought the 12-3, I didn't go through as much because it's a specialty wire. I'll tell you that in a second. But most of the houses ran on 12-2, and that's most generally what's ran. This is the stuff that I learned, you know, in this. But the 12-3 has an extra wire, has a red wire, and so the basic concept. I'm a kind of conceptual kind of guy. If you show me instructions, I'm a visual, you know. So anyway, if I read a set of instructions, I probably won't get it. I'm kind of dyslexic. And so I got to understand the concept behind something. So let me show you real quickly. I'm not going to get technical what the concept is. So to run these, they call the 3-way switches, where you have both switches at both ends of the rooms work the same lights. So basically you have 2 switches that are tied together in a sequence like this, at a distance. Just pretend this is, 10 feet apart or so. And they're tied together as I don't want to say a circuit, because it's not a circuit, but they're working together like this with this red wire here. And so what happens is, but they can't do anything like this. So what you do is you run a hot lead in, okay? And then on the other side, there's a hot lead going out, okay? So your hot lead that comes in basically goes through all the switches and stuff, and then so only one wire goes to the lights, and it's not, both switches don't go to the lights, only one goes to the lights, but they work together. So that's an interesting concept. I learned something there, but here's the thing I just went, oh my God, I have to run more wire. So I have this room right here, right? And so I started at the other end where the electrical box is. And so I ran a hot to the first switch, and then I got to the other end of the room, and I started the bathroom. And so I had to have that circuit. I'm going to use the word circuit. It's not the proper word, but those 2 outlets for the bathroom. And I thought, how am I going to get power to that section of 2 switches? And I thought, well, maybe I'll just jump it. You can't jump in the box. You have to run another wire. So it takes 3 wires to turn on a switch. Not 3 wires, but 3 sets of wires to turn on one light when you have a series in a 3-way switch. So I had to run one. The hot was easy for the first utility room, but then I had to run another wire to the bathroom, and then still another wire to the main. And then you still have to run another wire out of that into the lights. Crazy. So that's why it went through, almost 400 feet of wire total. So I guess that's enough of the talk. This is just an update. I'm pretty much done with the wiring at this point. I have one more thing to do, and that's to put the lights in. There's a wire hanging right here that I haven't decided on the lights. I'm gonna go recessed lights, LED, of course. But I don't know if I want 3 inch or 4 inch or 5 inch or 6 inch. But what I have decided I'm gonna do in this room here, I'm gonna do 2 lights here over the bed, okay? And then kind of the hallway right here, there's gonna probably be a couch right here. And so I'll probably have two lights right there. And then I put an outlet here for entertainment. Sometimes I gotta have a TV set, you know. So, and then right above me, I put a wire for a ceiling fan. I thought, you know, I'm not really into ceiling fans because if you haven't noticed, I sometimes have allergies, and then the fans usually stir up the dust. But a friend of mine says, you know, you got to have a fan. Okay, I'll put the electricity there. So, and then I put I put 3 switches right here. So I got one that runs basically these lights in the front over the couch, and then I got another switch that runs this one separately, and then I've got the 3rd switch runs the fan. So let's go through the house here and kind of talk a little bit about what I did. So basically here is where the mess starts. The wiring starts. This one's a real mess right here. Crazy. But basically what it is, I wanted to highlight something that people told me all the time what to do. So I basically got like 3 circuits. I got one circuit going to, it's a 220. I only have one 220 here because my hot water, I'm not big in propane, but I rather have propane heat than electric heat, if that makes any sense. So I got this propane, someone gave me this propane because of the water heater, because the temperature, the regulator, the whatever makes it, I think the thermostat or something went out or something. So about $150, and I've got almost a brand new hot water heater. So I'll run that on propane, so I don't need 220 on that. But the dryer's 220, refrigerator and freezer will be right here. And I ran them on a separate circuit, so that's 2 circuits right now. And the reason that is, people say, well, you know, if those freezers and the refrigerator come on at the same time, there's a big surge. And I don't think I got a new LG refrigerator, door and door, you tap it and the light comes, it gets 117 degrees in that other container, and that refrigerator still makes ice. That LG door and door, that thing works great. It hasn't conked out on me, so I paid a pretty penny for it though. But anyway, so I don't think those LGs they got new technology, and I don't think they take the big surge like the older ones do. But anyway, so I ran that on a separate circuit. Okay, so we got that's 2 circuits, 220 in there, and then all the outlets, like the wash machine, that's all tied in to one circuit, all the outlets. And then I got the lights on a separate circuit. So that's basically how it is. You know, again, I will have 2 lights probably in here. This is the door coming in, the back door coming in. I'll probably put two recessed lights, and I'll put 2 lights above the wash machine, you know, the utility things there. And then I'm gonna put 1 light here that's gonna be over the utility sink. And then basically the bathroom, I'll have 1 over the vanity, and then I'll have 1 so I can read my horse magazines. I made a joke the other day with my friend. I said, yeah, I got to put a light there underneath the toilet so I can sit and watch dirty magazines. He says, you're not supposed to look at dirty magazines. I says, well, they're dirty because I'm using them as toilet paper. So I got basically one outlet here. I'm thinking about putting another electrical here. I like those fancy mirrors that light up. So I might do something like that. I haven't done the shower yet as far as lighting. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do on the lighting yet on that. So I'm gonna, sometime in the next couple days, I gotta run and figure out what I'm gonna do with these lights. The problem is, I got believe it or not, during this pandemic, that, we don't have inflation. Yeah. We got a shortage of foam, believe it or not. So I called the foam guy and to put the closed cell foam in here. Oh, we're 10, 12 weeks away, maybe, if we can get the chemical. Oh, come on. So he promised me next week sometime. If I do here's an interesting thing here. If I do closed cell on all this, it's $2,100, so $2,000 to put insulation in this thing. I got them down to $1,500. So I think we're gonna put open cell in the wall and closed cell on the top to kind of save some money. He said 4 inches of open cell is equal to 2 inches of closed cell. So I said, will I be happy? Will I be warm and cold? Or warm? Will I be warm? Yeah. Will I be warm or cold? Will I be warm in the winter and cold? Sorry. Anyway. So I'm in a big push to get that done, get everything done here so I can get the insulation. So anyway, that's all for the update today. I didn't spend a lot of time doing video on putting the wires in because it's just too hard to videotape one guy. You're bouncing from one end of the container to the other running these wires, and it's too hard to move the camera and find places where you're gonna be and it's hot as heck, here, and sweating, and I gotta move the fan around, and so anyway, so I gave you enough video to show you that I did it and how I did it and what. Oh, one more thing. Remember, if you watched my framing video, remember I told you how wonderful framing material is, this steel studs? Actually, I do love it. I do really. Wiring this thing, it was crazy hard to put. Randy, what's so hard about it? You just run the wires through the slots there. No. This sheath across there, this shielding or whatever they got here, is really soft and tender. It's tender. Stupid me. Anyway, so when you run it, I don't have here. Watch this. So here's a slot right here. Okay. So when you run it through there, look at that. It just cut it. So there was actually one wire in the ceiling here that was coming up the wall and then going down the ridge, and it's sitting right here on the ridge, and because I was feeding other wire in and out and moving and stuff, the metal studs were moving back and forth and it actually cut through the wire. That's crazy. So I haven't ran power. A friend of mine says, electrician of mine that I've been kind of consulting with, he goes to me, he goes, "Oh, you're doing a great job. I've watched your videos." And I said, you know, you're doing a great job with electrical. I said, I haven't ran powered. This whole thing is going to explode or something, you know, especially if I put closed cell foam and all this turn into a big gooey mess. But no. So I'm a little concerned in some of the corners. I'll show you real quick. Like, see how they round the corner right there? Those are of interest because they bend right there where that metal is, and it's sharp. And any kind of movement, you know, just like a knife right through that wire. So that's the only drawback to this metal steel framing I've seen. And did you see the time lapse when I actually messed up these? I forgot to change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. I had to rotate them around because the holes weren't lined up right. Another rookie mistake. Okay.